A blowout in the Big 12 title game. Texas Tech over BYU. The Red Raiders punch a bye in the college football playoff. And are the Cougars officially out of contention? I still don't think they should be. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Saturday, everybody. Welcome to Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. My best Casey Cowan impression with the red tie and the suit on today. Someone scheduled a wedding on December 6th. Insanity. But this game was not insanity. It was Texas Tech doing what Texas Tech has done all season. That's dominate their opponents. BYU 7 points. Texas Tech 34 points. The amount of turnovers that the Red Raiders forced, a couple of interceptions from Bear Bachmeier, a couple of fumbles as well. And the only time Texas Tech had a blemish, their only fumble, ended up helping them gain 20 more yards on a run. It was that kind of day for the Red Raiders. This is the most dominant team we've seen in the Big 12, speaking on Texas Tech, in a long time. Their only loss came with their starting quarterback injured, trying to figure out how to work without Behren Morton. And by the way, Behren Morton isn't exactly the catalyst that makes Texas Tech as good as they are. Jacoby Williams, Cameron Dickey, that two-headed monster running back is incredible. And yeah, Morton, one of every three passes from Behren Morton, I wonder why in the world is Behren Morton doing what he's doing? But there's also one in those three that is a dot, a perfect dime piece that makes him one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in the country. And this Texas Tech team proved again in front of America on ABC that they are the best team in the Big 12. They deserve a bye in the college football playoff. They don't need a home game in Lubbock. They have all of the tools to win a national championship. If you are a Texas Tech fan, this is the moment where you pinch yourself. You went from decades, years, your entire existence really in college football of middling through the sport and just being the team that's forgotten and left behind. And even when there's elite talent like Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, you struggle to win more than 6-7 games. This is the perennial 8-4 football team. This is past what you saw in the Mike Leach era. This is different than what you saw in the best of the Mike Leach era. This is different than what you've seen in the best years of your program. This is long-term sustainability because of money, infrastructure. Talked a lot about James Blanchard and what he does on the recruiting side. Coaching, Joey McGuire, a Texas guy who does things in a gritty, first one in, last one to leave, old school way. And more than anything, Texas Tech is now in a conference where they can dominate. A position in the Big 12 where they can be the team. They can be the next Oklahoma and win 8 of 10 Big 12 championships. This was the beginning of that. Not remotely close to the culmination. It was the beginning. Like, there are Texas Tech fans saying we should leave for the SEC. That's how good you are. You held BYU to 14 first downs. 200 yards of total offense. BYU couldn't throw the ball. BYU certainly couldn't run the ball. 30 carries, 63 yards, total domination. Now, 34-7 was not completely indicative of how BYU played for 34 minutes of this game. It's not completely indicative of how the game went. It was 13-7, I should say. And it felt like BYU could win the game still. Texas Tech was not... didn't have the foot on the throat, and when it was 13-7, it didn't become 21-7 until 3:21 left in the third quarter. So BYU still squarely in this game with 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. That is not me making an excuse for BYU or diluting Texas Tech. It is telling you BYU for 35 plus minutes went toe-to-toe, tit for tat with the best team maybe in college football. There is a reason BYU should still be a college football playoff team. If you're telling me that the Cougars just lost to the number 4 team in the country, there's still a great chance BYU's a top 10 caliber team. A great chance they're the number 5 team in the country. And you say, Drake, that's the stupidest take I've ever heard. Their only 2 losses are to the number 4 team. That makes you think of the number 5 team in America? Listen to this. 2015 Rose Bowl, Oregon 59, Florida State 20. That's a college football playoff game. 2015 Cotton Bowl, Alabama 38, Michigan State 0. 2019 Peach Bowl, LSU 63, Oklahoma 28. Fiesta Bowl 2016, Clemson 31, Ohio State 0. How about the national championship in 2019? Alabama 44, Clemson 16. You could tell me that Clemson team was the second best team in college football, and they were still a large gap behind number one, Alabama. 2021 national championship, Alabama 52, Ohio State 24. So, did Ohio State not deserve to go to the college football playoff? They won a game in the playoff in 2021. Did Clemson not deserve to go to the college football playoff in 2019? They won a game in the playoff in 2019. They got blown out in the national championship game because some teams are just built different. Texas Tech is built different. But it does not mean that BYU shouldn't have a chance at the college football playoff. Had the Cougars, listen to this. This is the way the committee looks at these games. Had the Cougars in the regular season, because these conferences are far too big and you can't play everybody, had they played, let's say, Oklahoma State instead of Texas Tech. Okay? If they play Oklahoma State instead of Texas Tech, they win that game by 30 points. And you think, okay, well, now they're 12-0. Probably number 3 in the country. And a loss to Texas Tech, even in this fashion, they'd move down, no doubt. But they wouldn't move out of the top 12. And their strength of record is still better than Notre Dame. It's still better than Alabama. They still have more wins than Notre Dame. Still have more wins than Alabama. There's an easy case for BYU to still be a college football playoff team. If you say, well, they just played their playoff game. I point again in the 4-team format to the teams that lost by 1,000,000 points. They still deserve to be in the postseason. They still deserve a shot at a national championship, or just go back to the BCS era where you put 2 teams in and you allow 2 teams only to compete for a national title. Do it that way. But don't build this. Don't build a system where you are faulted for winning. And when you lose, but your name is Notre Dame, it's considered a good loss, and it shouldn't count against you. But when you lose and your name is BYU, and it's the number 4 team in the country twice in 2 settings in the state of Texas, one of them a true road game, the other 70-30, the stadium packed with Texas Tech fans. When that is the case, dog, I'm just not buying that you can leave this BYU team out still. I'm not buying it. Texas Tech, dominant. They are the future of the Big 12. Cody Campbell's the future of the Big 12. Joey McGuire's the future of the Big 12. This was a statement. This season has been a statement for Texas Tech, and now we will get you ready for the college football playoff, where I think you will win multiple games. I wish there was a home game in Lubbock, because I think the teams that had byes last year went 0-4. Throw up in my mouth. I wish that we had bye games. I wish that the other teams had bye games, I should say, and that Texas Tech could host a playoff game. They deserve it. That Lubbock deserves it. You know, and maybe the committee is stupid enough. They are stupid enough, by the way. Maybe they're stupid enough to bump Texas Tech out of the top 4 after this. Why? You're like, oh, that would never happen. They are the committee. And if we've known them to do anything, it's do stupid stuff. Texas Tech, congratulations. BYU, you should still get in. We'll cover it all this week on Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.